Discipline is freedom. Most men hear that and flinch because they've been trained to think discipline is a cage. They picture rules as limits, routines as misery, and restraint as some joyless life where you grind until you die. That's not discipline. That's misunderstanding. The cage is not discipline. The cage is impulse. The cage is craving. The cage is needing to feel good before you move. A man who cannot control himself is not free. He is owned. Owned by appetite, owned by lust, owned by comfort, owned by distraction, owned by the moods that change with the wind. And the worst part is this: he calls it freedom because nobody is standing over him with a whip. But something is. It's inside him. It's the urge that says, "Not today." It's the voice that says, "You deserve it." It's the hunger that says, "More." It's the restlessness that says, "Escape." It's the fear that says, "Don't risk it." Those forces don't look like chains. They feel like choice. That's why men fall for them. If you live by your impulses, you will live like a servant. You will serve comfort. You will serve pleasure. You will serve the easiest path. And the easiest path always leads to the same place: weakness, anxiety, and quiet regret. Discipline is the opposite. Discipline is you taking command. Not in theory, not in speeches, in daily action. A disciplined man wakes up and does what must be done before his mind starts negotiating. He trains because training is law, not mood. He works because work is duty, not inspiration. He controls his appetite because he refuses to be ruled by hunger. He controls his lust because he refuses to be controlled by urges. He controls his attention because he knows distraction is a thief. That is freedom. Freedom is not doing what you want. Freedom is being able to do what you must. And if you're honest, you know exactly where you are failing. It's not a lack of information. It's a lack of governance. You've listened to advice. You've watched speeches. You've read words. You already know what to do. But you do not do it. And that gap between what you know and what you do is where your pain lives. That gap is where anxiety grows. That gap is where self-respect dies. Because deep down, you know when you're lying to yourself. You can lie to others with words. You cannot lie to yourself with actions. Your body keeps score. Your mind keeps score. Your life keeps score. So today, I'm going to put a blade through the illusion. Discipline is not a cage. Discipline is the key. It unlocks the life you keep saying you want. It unlocks confidence. It unlocks calm under pressure. It unlocks purpose. It unlocks respect. It unlocks the quiet strength of a man who can rely on himself. This is not about being perfect. This is about being governed. Because a man who is governed cannot be easily manipulated. Not by other people. Not by his environment, not by his own weakness. He stands, and standing is rare now. So let's get into the laws, not tips, laws. These are the principles that turn discipline into freedom. Law 1. You are either ruled or you rule yourself. There is no neutral. If you do not rule yourself, something else will. Your phone will, your cravings will, your fears will, your need for approval will. A man who is ruled is not free, even if nobody is watching him. He is pulled around by invisible strings. Look at the men who claim they want freedom. Many of them can't go one day without cheap dopamine. They can't sit in silence. They can't focus for an hour. They can't resist a temptation that appears on a screen. They can't keep their word to themselves for a week. That is slavery. Not because the world is cruel, because their own impulses are their master. The first act of freedom is self-command. When your mind says, skip it, and you do it anyway, you are taking your life back. When your body says, quit, and you keep going, you are taking your life back. When temptation says, just this once, and you refuse, you are taking your life back. Freedom is not a feeling. It is a position you occupy when you govern yourself. Law 2. Discipline creates peace by creating order. Most men call it anxiety, but what they're feeling is disorder. Disorder in sleep, disorder in diet, disorder in schedule, disorder in priorities, disorder in commitments. The mind hates disorder. It spirals in disorder. It becomes reactive. It becomes fragile. Order creates peace, not comfort. Order. A disciplined man has fewer loose ends. He doesn't carry a pile of unfinished tasks in his head. He makes decisions and executes. He does not let everything stay unresolved. He does not leave his life scattered. That is why disciplined men sleep better. Not because they are lucky, because their conscience is clean. They did what had to be done. They didn't hide. They didn't postpone their life. They didn't betray themselves. Peace comes from alignment, from your actions matching your values. Discipline is the tool that creates that alignment. Law 3. Discipline is self-respect in action. You can't think your way into self-respect. You build it through follow-through. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you deposit trust into your own mind. Every time you break a promise, you withdraw it. After enough withdrawals, your own mind stops believing you. Then you wonder why you lack confidence, why you feel weak, why you feel like you're pretending. You are pretending. A man who constantly breaks his word becomes hollow. Discipline fills that hollow space with proof. Proof is what creates confidence. A man who trains, even when tired, becomes confident that he can endure. A man who works even when bored becomes confident that he can build. A man who controls himself, even when tempted, becomes confident that he is in command. That confidence is real. It cannot be taken away with insults, because it is built on evidence. Law 4. Discipline gives you time. Indulgence steals it. You don't lack time. You leak it. Indulgence is a leak. Endless scrolling is a leak. Procrastination is a leak. Decision fatigue is a leak. Comfort is a leak. It drips minutes out of your life until years are gone. A disciplined man plugs the leaks. He decides what matters. He schedules it. He executes it. He wastes less because he has standards. He does not wake up and ask, what do I feel like doing? He wakes up knowing what will be done. That creates time. Time for strength. Time for skill. Time for building a life you respect. The undisciplined man is always busy, yet nothing gets built. The disciplined man is calm, yet progress accumulates. That is freedom. Law 5. Discipline makes life easier by making you stronger. Undisciplined men chase an easy life. They avoid hardship. They avoid discomfort. They avoid responsibility. And life becomes harder. Because weakness makes everything heavy. Weak men are crushed by small problems. They panic under mild pressure. They collapse when things get inconvenient. Their emotional stability depends on perfect conditions. That is not strength. Strength is the ability to function in imperfect conditions. Discipline builds that strength. Discipline trains you to act when tired, to continue when bored, to hold the line when stressed. Then life becomes easier, not because it changes, but because you do. A man who is stronger experiences fewer things as too much. Law 6. Discipline is choosing controlled pain to avoid uncontrolled suffering. Pain is coming either way. You can choose controlled pain now, the pain of training, the pain of restraint, the pain of effort, the pain of saying no. Or you can suffer uncontrolled pain later, the pain of regret, the pain of poor health, the pain of weakness, the pain of debt, the pain of anxiety. The pain of discipline is sharp and honest. It burns and it passes. The pain of regret is poison. It sits in your chest at night. It grows in silence. It whispers when you're alone. A man chooses the pain that builds him. That is discipline. That is freedom. Law 7. Discipline is what makes you reliable. And reliability is power. The world is full of talkers, men who promise, men who plan, men who announce, then disappear. Reliability is rare. That's why it's valuable. A disciplined man is reliable because his actions are not controlled by mood. He shows up, he produces, he carries weight. People trust him. Trust is a form of power. Not power to dominate, power to lead, power to protect, power to build, power to be the man others can lean on when things get dark. That kind of power is earned, and it starts with discipline. Law 8. Discipline protects your future. Most men live as if tomorrow will always be available. They spend health like it's unlimited. They spend time like it's renewable. They spend money like consequences are optional. Then reality arrives. A disciplined man respects the future. He saves, he trains, he learns, he builds, he prepares. Preparation is freedom. Because a prepared man is not trapped when life shifts. He has options, not the fake options of endless entertainment. Real options. The option to leave a bad job because he has skills. The option to endure hardship because he has strength. The option to resist temptation because he has self-control. The option to lead because he has stability. Law 9. Discipline is how you win the war inside your mind. Every man has two voices. One voice wants greatness, one voice wants ease. The undisciplined man lets the voice of ease speak like a king. He obeys it. Then he feels ashamed. Shame becomes avoidance. Avoidance becomes anxiety. The disciplined man hears that voice and treats it as what it is. A temptation. A test. Not a command. He obeys his code instead. That obedience wins the internal war. And when the internal war is won, the man becomes calm. Calm is not softness. Calm is controlled power. Law 10. Discipline is not dramatic, it is daily. Most men want a grand transformation, a big moment, a new identity overnight. That is fantasy. Real change is boring. It is small rules executed daily. If you want discipline, you need non-negotiables. 3 is enough to start. Move your body. Produce value. Practice restraint. Every day, move your body. Train, walk with weight, sweat, build endurance, produce value, work, study, build skill, repair something, create. Practice restraint. Say no to one indulgence. Control appetite. Control lust. Control distraction. Do these daily, and you become a different man. Not in a week, not in a day. Over time, because time plus discipline equals transformation. Law 11. Discipline creates freedom by reducing dependence. Undisciplined men are dependent. Dependent on moods, dependent on comfort, dependent on entertainment, dependent on other people's validation, dependent on circumstances being perfect. A disciplined man is independent. He can function in discomfort. He can function in boredom. He can function in silence. He can function when nobody praises him. That independence is freedom, because if you require comfort to function, you are trapped. If you require praise to act, you are trapped. If you require motivation to begin, you are trapped. Discipline breaks dependence. Law 12. Discipline is restraint with purpose. Some men think discipline is brutality. They think it means suffering for no reason. That's not discipline. Discipline is intelligent restraint. It is choosing what serves your mission and rejecting what weakens it. Discipline is not random denial. It is purposeful selection. A warrior does not refuse food because he hates food. He chooses fuel that strengthens him. A warrior does not refuse pleasure because he hates pleasure. He refuses pleasure that makes him weak. A warrior does not avoid rest. He earns it and uses it to recover. Discipline is not self-hate. It is self-command. Law 13. Discipline makes you dangerous in the right way. A disciplined man is dangerous because he is stable. He doesn't panic. He doesn't beg. He doesn't collapse. He can be trusted under pressure. That is rare. Many men are loud and aggressive and unstable. That is not dangerous. That is childish. Controlled aggression is power. Strength paired with restraint is power. Confidence without arrogance is power. A disciplined man can fight and can walk away, can speak and can stay silent, can endure and not complain. That is the kind of man the world respects. Law 14. Discipline is what turns potential into reality. Potential is worthless. Every cemetery is full of potential. Men who could have been strong. Men who could have been great. Men who could have led. But they lived undisciplined lives, and time buried them. Discipline converts potential into proof. Proof is the only currency life respects. Proof in your body, proof in your skills, proof in your finances, proof in your character, proof in your word. If you want a life that means something, stop worshiping potential. Start producing proof. Law 15. Discipline is the foundation of legacy. Legacy is not built with talent, it's built with consistency. What you do when tired, what you do when bored, what you do when nobody is watching. Discipline is how you become the man you would be proud to pass on. If you want to leave order behind, not chaos, discipline is the path. Now, if you're listening and you feel resistance, good. That resistance is the weak part of you fighting for survival. The weak part of you does not want law. It wants comfort. It wants excuses. It wants escape. It will tell you discipline is too hard. It will tell you you're different. It will tell you you need healing first. It will tell you you need to find yourself. It will tell you you need to wait for the right time. That voice is not wisdom. It is weakness negotiating. Do not negotiate. Discipline begins when negotiation ends. So here is what you do. You stop trying to change your whole life at once. You set a standard for tomorrow. One standard you will not break. Wake up when you said you would. Train for 30 minutes. Work for 1 hour with full focus. Say no to one indulgence. Keep your word. Then do it again and again and again. Because discipline is not a moment. It is a lifestyle of obedience to a code. And slowly, the truth reveals itself. You feel lighter. Not because life is easier, because you are no longer carrying shame. You are no longer carrying unfinished promises. You are no longer carrying the weight of knowing you're not doing what you should. You become aligned, and alignment feels like peace. That peace is freedom. So let the world chase comfort. Let weak men chase feelings. You will chase something real. Self-command, order, strength, restraint. You will build a life you do not need to escape from. You will become the kind of man who can endure pain without collapsing. The kind of man who can carry weight without complaining. The kind of man who can lead without demanding applause. That is masculinity. That is the warrior's code. Discipline is freedom. Because the man who rules himself cannot be owned.